Hey y'all, this video is not for the faint of heart. In fact, I've been rambling for a while just to notice that I hadn't even turned the camera on. We may scream together in this. We may make some beautiful sounds. We may make some horrible, ugly sounds. I don't know, that's not ugly. The bulls are never gonna be ugly. Y'all, I just came from Al-Anon and I am new to Al-Anon. It's not that I have an identified alcoholic in my life, though I'm starting to remember my first husband was an alcoholic. Didn't cause it, can't control it, will never cure it. I lost a sister-in-law, a beloved sister-in-law, to that disease. She could not stop drinking and she died. And in fact, they were talking about, in God's own time, God will fix it. And I wanted to scream. Sometimes God doesn't fix it, I wanted to say. Sometimes the human condition, anyway. There's a little bit of a battle in my brain because my channel, I Aming as LLD, has been about bringing loftier ideals, about helping us raise our vibration, and hopefully also about learning how to be our own compassionate witness in life, to observe ourselves from a place of neutrality, at least tenderness, softness, open awareness. And y'all, I meant to grab my book. I've referenced Oneness, received and transcribed by Rasha, is what I think it says, Rasha, R-A-S-H-A. And in there it says, oneness is the full gamut of human experience. And I'm so grateful for that message of grace again, because how many of us think, oh, I'm ugly. I felt so ugly earlier this week because I was having ugly thoughts and ugly feelings. And I could go off on that tangent. I love to. I find it interesting. Songwriter, singer. And when I let the shit out lately, it's like something in me chokes it back, or I lose my voice. I get that strained feeling. There's gotta be a way to scream, and I should know as a singer. Use your diaphragm, maybe. I'm trying to find it. Anyways, I'm learning the steps. There's even steps in Al-Anon. No, I'm not the alcoholic myself. I know there's 12 steps in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, NA. But there's also an Al-Anon for the friends and family who've had loved ones whose lives have been devastated by alcohol, or when your own life has become unmanageable. So maybe it's just a dysfunctional family that you grew up in, and you, like me, learned how to be, we can slap labels on it, learn how to be codependent might be a word I use, putting other people's needs ahead of my own, until I give so much that I've drained myself. My life becomes unmanageable. I become resentful, not the loving being that I am and wish to express at all times. So step 3, I think step 1 is recognizing that our lives have become unmanageable, beyond our control. We certainly can't. If we have an alcoholic in our lives or a drug addict, we did not cause it. We cannot control it. We cannot cure it. We're there for ourselves because our own lives have become unmanageable, or we just are under so much stress because we're trying to control our environment and other people, and we cannot. I don't remember what step 2 is. Step 3 is about turning it over to a higher power. Hey, if you've been following my channel, I'm all about that. Now, I might use a little bit different language. I might say that higher power, I might say higher self. But hang with me, the divine living within each of us. What if there's nothing? What if there's what? What if there's nothing? Breathe with me, y'all. We can still express it. Stay open if you can. Working with a client this afternoon after the Al-Anon session. And she was saying, I just want to give it to grandmother Shmukane. You've heard me use that name. It's the Mayan name for grandmother. I believe the symbolism of grandmother living at the fiery core, at the center of the earth, surrounded by jaguar, Balaam. So grandmother Shmukane, she said, I just want to hand it over to Shmukane and have her turn it into positive thoughts. And I thought, that's lovely. I want the same thing. But what if What if it's okay that it's not all positive? Y'all, really? I may get up and find oneness, since I still don't know how to pause these videos. I'm just gonna have to stare at the beautiful backdrop while I do it, but what if what we experience, what we label as negative, is just as important in the experience of humanness as what we label positive? What if? What if we're allowed to express? I've mentioned David, the Blue Truth before. David Dida, every time I say his name, I don't know how he pronounces it. So I give it the Spanish pronunciation. David Dida from Blue Truth. And he talks about recognizing when our body is in the clench, when we're resisting something. We might be resisting an emotion we don't want to feel today. Who the fuck wants to feel bad? The Dalai Lama, the current Dalai Lama said, besides the fact that he says we don't need gurus anymore and he will be the last Dalai Lama. Did you know he said that? Sit with that for a minute. What? We are united. I don't have the book here, so don't quote me word for word. But the first line I remember reading in that is, we are united. All of humanity is united in our common purpose, our drive to be happy and to avoid suffering. Duh! Nobody wants to be in pain. Nobody wants to suffer. Nobody wants to feel the difficult shit, the pain. How that makes me think of, I'm reading If the Buddha Got Stuck. I shared a little bit of it earlier this week, and I talk about the 8 winds, pleasure and pain, but fame and shame. Anyway, there's 8 of those, and so it talks about that's just the swinging on that gamut. So of course we can avoid suffering if we avoid being on that gamut. But I'm proposing the idea that the question is, are we meant to avoid it? I don't know if that's the question. I know I feel a hell of a lot better when I'm just observing it. How charged up I am today. I'm not just coming to you all peaceful and serene like everyone else felt like. Everyone that spoke in that meeting today. Of course they were talking about they have found serenity in their otherwise unmanageable life with a loved one who is in the grips of this horrible, horrible disease. Some of them in there, I know, even if they weren't speaking up, have lost loved ones. So when I hear someone say, oh, in God's timing, God will fix it, I wanted to fucking scream. Even now I want to say, please forgive my language, but y'all, sometimes we gotta let it the fuck out. Ah! I teach my clients the fuck opera. Stick her heads in a crystal singing bowl sometimes. Get it going. Stick her head in there, just sing. Fuck, 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 fuck. I could hear my dad say potty mouth. I can imagine some of my conservative members of my family thinking she has flipped her lid. Y'all know I believe in a higher power. You know, I believe that divine presence exists and dwells within us. There is as much space within us as there is outside of us. Somehow that translates to the divine being within for me. Y'all, and they say this at the end of when they read the closing at Al-Anon, and I say it on my channel, take what resonates with you. Let it land if this is for you today. I said this is not for the faint of heart. I knew I was just going to cuss today. I might, instead of singing pretty songs and bringing in the angels' voices, I might scream and rage and open as, back to Blue Truth, recognizing when I'm in the clench and I'm shrinking and taking shape around that very thing I'm trying to resist. I brought in the Dalai Lama. Nobody wants to suffer. Everyone wants to be happy. Absolutely. Can I be happy if I'm suppressing my own feelings? It's a perfect word. If I'm depressing, I'm pushing them down. I'm using all my energy to not feel what I need to feel. Can I heal if I don't feel? How y'all, if you're not feeling, you're not human. Yeah? Can I learn to feel some of the loftier things that I am also? I am the loving. I've quoted Margaret Laird many times. I'm neither the lover nor the loved. Not both of them, but hang with me. I'm neither the lover nor the loved. I am the loving. I can feel that land. That's true too. At the same time, I'm hearing them talk about God fixing these things. And I know I'm sitting next to a woman who just lost her husband to alcoholism. What is she hearing? Did God fix it? And you may believe that God did. I may believe God did. That it's all part of the same damn thing. Interesting word. Damn. Damn meant what? Damnation. I have been scared of hell, fire, and brimstone my whole life nearly. I've been afraid if I say or do the wrong thing, I will be damned to hell for all of eternity. I hope that's not a belief within you. I truly hope. If my family heard that, that would cause them great distress because they think we're here to save you from Satan and the fiery pits of hell. What if you feel like you can't just turn it over? You can't just let it go. You can't just feel positive. You don't even maybe feel like you have a choice in life. What do we do with those moments when you're sitting in a room full of well-meaning people who maybe have been on this path? I know people in that room that have been there for more than 20 years. And maybe they're making more conscious choices now. Something else I teach to my clients. We cannot change what we're not yet conscious of, can we? We cannot take responsibility for what we're not yet conscious of. So I tell my clients when they come in, here's the iceberg. And this is what, the tip of the iceberg that you can see above the water is what you are conscious of. You can steer around that because you can see it. My job isn't to remove the iceberg, it's to lower the water so that you can see more and more. And yeah, then you have a choice, then you can steer around it, or you might still run smack dab into it. Do you deserve love any less if you keep running into the same damn iceberg? The same fucking iceberg? No. You still deserve love. You still are love. Oneness. That may not be a word that resonates with you, or you may be like, what does that mean? Oneness. Oneness, oneness, oneness. Is there such a thing? And if you truly think about the word, is oneness just those who have ascended or think lofty thoughts or are always kind or self-confident or self-compassionate? Or hell, I love Amoda Ma because she says, whatever's going on with you, whatever's showing up, let's not throw compassion at it. I needed her to get my attention. Let's not throw kindness at it. What? I want to be a kindness. I hope you, a kind person, a kind human being. I hope you want to be a kind human being too. I want to be kind to myself. And she said, what if we're just not compassionate or kind, but tender? What if we just soften into open awareness? And within open awareness, my interpretation, I think this is what she's saying, embrace all that is. That's oneness. I keep saying it, so hopefully my book's right over here on the couch. Stare at this beautiful scenery. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and strike this is the heart chakra bowl. Oh, I was picking up this to hit that heart chakra, and instead I hit the third eye, the Christ center. Open it up to see clearly. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone or come. There's some heart chakra. your heart open and be angry? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Blue Truth would say, recognize the clench and open as that very thing you're resisting. Open as the anger. Open as the fear. Pushing you right off the stand there. It's big and heavy. It's gonna get loud. Do those sounds make me feel better? Absolutely. My language. I don't know if I actually end up saying this to my roommate, but I kept thinking in my head this week when I was having some ugly thoughts, ugly feelings. I wanted to say, I can't be too big of a shithead because look how pretty I color. Oh man, I've started coloring again. Peace. I know peace. I know true joy because I'm capable of opening as the stuff I don't want to feel. So I'm in oneness, shared this with you before. I may have even read these very pages. Breathe with me. Let it be gentle breath. Gentle. Gentle as in, sometimes people will say to you, take a deep breath. And that, I can feel that filling up my abdomen and it might feel like pressure. It might feel uncomfortable. What if we just take 3 easy breaths? And if you can't, if you're still feeling like raging, then don't, just, Many will choose to punctuate their journeys with experiences that might be considered to be radical deviations from a spiritually focused path. Hang with me. I could read these sentences over and over and over again and just sit with each one of them. Such individuals should not be presumed to be off track. What? Many will choose to punctuate their journeys with experiences that might be considered to be radical deviations from a spiritually focused path. Such individuals should not be presumed to be off track, but rather given the latitude to create their own perfect route to the attainment of higher wisdom. Still uses the word higher. All right. For some of you, that journey necessitates experiences of plummeting to the depths of humanness in order to prepare a foundation for comprehending and appreciating the heights to come. I like that it's kind of still promising us. There was a lot of hope in that room today, and I would never take hope away from anyone in there. I just wanted there to be room, space for those of us that maybe aren't feeling hope in a moment. You may not be feeling hope in this moment. And I want you to feel like you belong right here, right now with me on this very channel that if you watched every other video, you might think, oh, I couldn't relate to her. She's singing with the angels. I believe literally. She studied with a Mayan elder and she's gone on Mayan journeys and she's teaching us mantras for regrowing our wings. Woo! You belong here, now, with me. I love you. I love you. I love you. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're experiencing in life. I said to one of my clients today, I love every part of you, not just the part of you that's capable of turning something over into a positive, Not even just the part that's able to hand it over to God like they were talking about in Al-Anon today. Maybe you feel like you can't do that. Maybe you don't even know what the fuck that means. Maybe you feel like a spiritual deviant. Well, guess what? Such individuals should not be presumed to be off track, but rather given the latitude to create their own perfect route. And these beings are not to be considered in any way less God, capital G, godlike. Say it again, these beings are not to be considered in any way less godlike in their core essence than those amongst you whose journeys have been less dramatic. I could pause right there. This is what makes me think I really have shared this before, because I'm not going to use your name. One of my roommates, you know who you are, lovely soul. She's been to hell and back in her own lifetime. She's worked hard to get to where she is. She is a sound healer now, and she's tapping into her own divine wisdom within. Why did I bring her up? I'm not saying she doesn't have any drama in her life. Of course she does. She's having a human experience. But maybe in some of the areas of my life where I'm experiencing drama, she isn't. She's having a different experience of it. That part where it says some of us need to plummet to our own depths of humanness. You know, I feel like I sometimes am plummeting a little into a depth right now, and I sometimes compare myself to her and think, oh, she looks to be at peace and she's so happy today, and she's just magnetically drawing people to her, and she's getting all this opportunity in life that I wish I was getting. Because what am I telling myself? I'm telling myself I'm wrong. I'm telling myself that I'm doing it wrong. I'm telling myself people don't want to be around me. Maybe they don't want to be my friend. Maybe I don't fill in the blank. Maybe I'm too negative. Maybe I have too much drama in my life still. Maybe I do. Maybe they're right. Each of you has a particular focus that has been pre-selected as the highest path to your chosen destination. And each of you is diligently enacting those choices. It may not be language that resonates. Again, take what resonates for you and let the rest go. And each of you is diligent. Okay. The degree to which the repetition of these themes is necessary is the option with which most of you struggle in these times, and the obstacle all of you are destined to surmount, each in your own time. Now, I did say today, maybe they just use the language that God in his own timing. I think God's got to be both, y'all. God has to be. How could God not be both male and female? Or maybe neither. Maybe God's non-binary. They talked about God getting to something in his own time. He'll fix it when he's ready. And they were talking about their addicted loved ones. God never fixes that for those loved ones. What if they die in addiction? Like some of my loved ones have. Probably some of your loved ones. The experience of oneness is not a destination toward which you strive in your journey towards self-mastery, but rather the essence of the journey itself. I'd be shocked if you haven't heard the cliche before. It's not the destination, it's the journey. There's no there to get to. There's only here to be in. You can only be here now. Whatever that means, right? For oneness is your experience of beingness in this present moment. And oneness is experience to be encountered at the very next stage of your development. Oneness is every exalted plateau encountered, and every stumbling block that trips you and leaves you disheartened and wallowing in the depths of despair. Can you hear that? Colin, if I hadn't already stopped earlier about the degree to which this repetition we're struggling with, some of us are just struggling with. My therapist said to me just a couple weeks ago, who told you weren't going to keep coming back around to this, Laura? And I'm like, oh, wow, I keep keep judging myself if I'm dealing with the same life themes over and over. I should be over this by now, right? You should be over this. Fuck no. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm in the depths of my humanness. Oneness is every exalted plateau encountered and every stumbling block. And every stumbling block that trips you and leaves you disheartened and wallowing in the depths of despair. I could stop right there, and if you hear nothing else today, oneness is every exalted, the word lofty is coming to my mind, every lofty plateau encountered, and every stumbling block that leaves me disheartened and in despair. What? God, I know it. In the core of my being, I know this to be true. And yet, I have to keep coming back around to this. I don't live as if I believe it most of the time. I sure didn't earlier this week when I just felt so ugly because my thoughts, my feelings were ugly. Oneness is the full gamut of your journey into humanness. For this experience is what you have come into form to have. I'll read it again. Oneness is the full gamut of your journey into humanness. For this experience is what you have come into form to have. I love you. I love your form. I love every shape and size that you come in. And I may not be able to demonstrate that in person. I may be triggered by some parts of you and how you're showing up. I may want to help you out of your own suffering. I hope I don't give my clients advice. I hope I give them unconditional positive regard, or at least permission to be and to allow themselves to experience all that they're experiencing, anything and everything that's showing up within our experience of humanness. Can you make space within you? I mean, the space already exists. You don't have to actually create it. Okay? Can you drop into that space, open as that space, and allow everything that's showing up to move freely throughout that space? Now, when we turn our open awareness, when we shine the light of consciousness onto something, then maybe we can make a different choice than we made yesterday. We may still make the same choice, and that makes us no less lovable. I think I'm quoting this. It makes us no less God-like. That may sound like blasphemy to you, and that's okay. I told you this is not for the faint of heart. Let me just see if there's one last thing here or anything else to share. Be not so quick to judge yourself or others who stumble beside you on your sacred journey. It is naive to assume that a simple, obstacle-free path is a symptom of spiritual advancement. Oh, shit. Yeah! I keep falling into that trap. I keep believing, I'm going to change the language, I keep believing that a simple obstacle-free path is a symptom of a